In previous class, we already discussed about different terms in magnetostatic, that is magnetizing field intensity, intensity of magnetization, susceptibility, permeability, and the relation between susceptibility and permeability or relative permeability. Today we are going to discuss the types of magnetic materials. Okay, in nature we know what is magnetic materials. If a material which is attracted by a magnet is known as magnetic material. So according to Faraday, in nature all the magnetic materials exist are categorized into three parts. The different types of magnetic materials are categorized into three parts. First is diamagnetic, then paramagnetic, and the third one is ferromagnetic. Okay, all the magnetic materials exist in nature are divided into diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic. It was first categorized by Faraday. Faraday divided all magnetic materials into above three types. Okay, diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic. So, what is diamagnetic substance or magnetic material? What is paramagnetic material and what is ferromagnetic material? Let us discuss one by one. Okay, so now discuss about diamagnetic material. So what is diamagnetic material? These materials generally slightly repelled by the magnets. These magnetic materials are repelled, slightly repelled by the magnet. Okay, so the magnetic materials which are slightly repelled by the magnet are known as diamagnetic materials, and especially these type of substances have no free electrons. As we know, in an atom, some atoms or some metals have some free electrons, but in case of diamagnetic substances, those substances have no free electrons, or those substances which are slightly repelled by the magnet are known as what? Diamagnetic materials. So example for diamagnetic material, all inert gases, because in inert gas cases they have no free electrons, or we can write gold, silver, bismuth, diamond. All are the examples of what? Diamagnetic materials or diamagnetic substances. Clear? Next, what is paramagnetic materials? So in case of paramagnetic material, these are the materials which are slightly attracted by magnet, and they have less number of free electrons. Okay, so these these are the magnetic materials which are slightly attracted by the magnets and they have less number of free electrons. As they have less number of free electrons, they have some permanent dipole moment. They have some permanent magnetic dipole moment, but in the absence of external magnetic field, the net dipole moment of these substances is 0, because as they have some permanent magnetic dipole moment, but in the absence of external magnetic field, the net dipole moment of these substances is 0, because all the dipoles or the magnetic dipoles present in the paramagnetic substances, due to their thermal energy or in the absence of external magnetic field, are rotated randomly. So as we know that the magnetic dipole moment is a vector quantity, and if the direction of all the dipole moments present in the paramagnetic substance initially or in the absence of external magnetic field are randomly in different directions, so their resultant dipole moment will be 0. So in absence of external magnetic field, the net magnetic dipole moment of paramagnetic substance is 0, but they have some permanent magnetic dipole moment present within them. Clear? But when we apply some external magnetic field, then what will happen? So if we apply some magnetic, let such example, if this is a paramagnetic substance and there are some dipoles which are randomly present over here. This is north, south, south, north, north, south, south, north. In the absence of external magnetic field, the direction of the dipoles are in different directions. So their resultant will always be added up to 0. But when we apply some external magnetic field like this, if this is magnetic substance is placed in an external magnetic field which is directed along this, then all these dipoles align or adjust themselves along the direction of magnetic field. That means all the dipoles will be like this. The dipole moment will be along the direction of external magnetic field. So they possess some net dipole moment in the presence of external magnetic field. But in absence of external magnetic field, although they have some permanent dipole moment, but the net dipole moment of the paramagnetic substance is 0. Clear? So depending upon this phenomena, there is a law proposed by Curie. So what is Curie's law? Of paramagnetism. So according to Curie, the intensity of magnetization of a paramagnetic substance is directly proportional to the strength of the external applied magnetic field. As we already discussed, in case of paramagnetic substance, if we apply some external magnetic field, the dipole moment of the paramagnetic substance will arrange themselves along the direction of external magnetic field, so that they possess some net magnetic dipole moment. So here if we increase the strength of the applied magnetic field, then the intensity of magnetization of paramagnetic substance will increase, and also it is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature of the paramagnetic substance. That means if we increase the temperature of the paramagnetic substance, then the arrangement of the dipole of the paramagnetic substance will get disturbed, and the net intensity of magnetization of paramagnetic substance will decrease. So by combining these two, Curie proposed a relation which is equal to, if this equation 1 and 2 we will combine, we will get what? I is proportional to B naught by T. This implies I equal to some constant C into B naught by T. What is C? This is known as Curie's constant. Okay, so I equal to Curie's constant into B naught by T. What is T? The absolute temperature of the paramagnetic substance, and B naught is the external magnetic field strength. So from this we can write I equal to C into B naught. In case of B naught we already discussed previous class. B naught can be written as mu naught into H. What is mu naught? Permeability of the space, and H is the magnetizing field intensity, divided by T. Arranging this, we can write I by H will be equal, by dividing H in left hand side, we will get C into mu naught divided by T. What is I by H? We already know I by H is the susceptibility. So magnetic susceptibility equal to C into mu naught by T. C mu naught is a constant. So susceptibility is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature of the paramagnetic substance. This is known as what? Curie's law for paramagnetism or paramagnetic substance. That means if the temperature, absolute temperature of the paramagnetic substance will increase, the magnetic susceptibility will decrease. That means in higher temperature it is too difficult to magnetize paramagnetic substance, or the paramagnetic substance will magnetize very less in case of higher temperature. Clear? Okay, now discuss about ferromagnetic materials or ferromagnetic substances. So basically these are the magnetic substances which are strongly attracted by magnet. Okay, so these are the magnetic substances which are strongly attracted by magnet, and they have large number of free electrons. Okay, so the substances which are strongly attracted by magnet and they have large number of free electrons are known as what? Ferromagnetic substances. Basically in this type of substances, the free electrons possess some magnetic dipole moment, and all the free electrons have magnetic dipole moment in different directions randomly in the absence of external magnetic field. But in case of ferromagnetic substances, the electrons, those have magnetic dipole moment in a particular direction, are combine themselves or they make a group. This is known as the domain. We don't discuss about the domain theory of this ferromagnetic substance because this is not in our syllabus. But basically these are the magnetic substances which are strongly attracted by the magnet and they have large number of free electrons. And according to Curie, according to Curie's law, all the ferromagnetic substances behave like paramagnetic substances after a particular temperature. Okay, that means if you rise the temperature of the ferromagnetic substances, as you know, as temperature increases, the intensity of magnetization decreases. So if you rise the temperature of the ferromagnetic substances according to Curie at a particular temperature, all the ferromagnetic substances are behaves like paramagnetic substance, and that particular temperature is different for different types of ferromagnetic substance, and this particular temperature is known as Curie's temperature. Okay, and the relation for Curie's law in case of ferromagnetic substance is given as the magnetic susceptibility is equal to Curie's constant divided by the absolute temperature of the substance minus the Curie's temperature of that ferromagnetic substance. Yes, that means the magnetic susceptibility of the substance is equal to the Curie's constant divided by the difference between the absolute temperature of the ferromagnetic substance and the Curie's temperature for that ferromagnetic substance. Clear? So, if the absolute temperature of the ferromagnetic substance rises above the Curie temperature for that substance, then the ferromagnetic substance will start behaving as what? Paramagnetic substance. So this is all about the different types of magnetic substances as we discussed here. The diamagnetic substance, the magnetic substance which are slightly repelled by the magnet, and the examples as gold, silver, bismuth, diamond, and etc. And the paramagnetic substance are those type of magnetic substance which are slightly attracted by the magnet, and the intensity of magnetization of the paramagnetic substance depends upon the, according to Curie's law, depends upon the external magnetic field strength and the absolute temperature of the magnetic substance. And the example of this kind of substance will be aluminum, manganese, etc. And for ferromagnetic substance, these are the substances which are strongly attracted by the magnet and they have large number of free electrons, and above a particular temperature from their absolute temperature, the ferromagnetic substance will start behaving as paramagnetic substance according to what? Curie's law. And the example for ferromagnetic substance, all the magnetic substances generally we know: iron, cobalt, nickel, etc. So these are highly attracted by the magnet and these are known as ferromagnetic substances. So this is all about what? Dia, para and ferromagnetic substance according to Faraday. So now let us compare these three types of substances combined. Okay, so now compare between diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substances side by side. So let here diamagnetic substance, paramagnetic substance, and ferromagnetic substance. Okay, so what is diamagnetic substance? So diamagnetic substance we already discussed. These are the magnetic substances which are slightly repelled by the magnet, just slightly repelled by Okay, so diamagnetic substances are those magnetic materials or substances which are slightly repelled by the magnet. Paramagnetic substance, these are the magnetic substance which are slightly attracted by magnet. Similarly, ferromagnetic substance, these are the magnetic substance which are strongly attracted by magnet. Clear? Diamagnetic substances are slightly repel, paramagnetic are slightly attracted, and ferromagnetic are strongly attracted. You have to remember this relation. These are strongly attracted, these are slightly attracted, and these are slightly repelled. Clear? Next, in case of diamagnetic substance, these are the magnetic substance which get magnetized opposite direction that of applied external magnetic field. Okay, the diamagnetic substance are magnetized in opposite direction that of applied external magnetic field. But in case of paramagnetic substance, these are magnetized along the direction of external magnetic field. And same in case of ferromagnetic substance, these are also magnetized along the direction of external magnetic field. Clear? What is diamagnetic substance? Opposite direction of external magnetic field, but in paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substance, they are along the direction of external magnetic field. Okay. In third case, if we suspended a diamagnetic substance or a rod of diamagnetic substance freely in an external magnetic field, it will arrange itself perpendicular to that of the direction of external magnetic field. Like this, if here is an external magnetic field, and if here we allow a diamagnetic rod which is suspended freely, then automatically this rod will adjust itself in such a direction that it will remain perpendicular to the direction of what? External magnetic field. If this is the direction of external magnetic field, and if we suspended a diamagnetic rod like this, then it will automatically adjust itself along the direction such that it will remain perpendicular to what? The external magnetic field. But adjust itself perpendicular to the direction of external magnetic field slowly. Okay, here in case same thing, it adjusts itself parallel to the direction of external magnetic field slowly. That means if here is the magnetic field and we are suspended freely a paramagnetic substance, then it will automatically adjust itself parallel to the direction of what? Magnetic field, and this process is very slow. But in case of ferromagnetic substance, it adjusts itself parallel to the direction external magnetic field rapidly. So if we allow a ferromagnetic substance to suspend freely within an external magnetic field, then the ferromagnetic substance will adjust itself rapidly to the direction which is parallel to the external magnetic field, like this. Okay, so diamagnetic substance always try to adjust itself in a direction which is perpendicular to the direction of external magnetic field, and this process is slow. And similarly, paramagnetic substance wants to adjust itself parallel to the direction of external magnetic field, and that process is also so slow. But in case of ferromagnetic substance, when we suspend or allow a freely suspended ferromagnetic substance in an external magnetic field, then it will adjust itself along the direction which is parallel to the external magnetic field rapidly, and that process is very fast. Clear? So now let's discuss some further points. If in an external magnetic field we placed a diamagnetic substance, then all the lines of force prefer to move outside of the diamagnetic substance like this. Okay, so all the magnetic field lines prefer to move out of the diamagnetic substance when a diamagnetic substance is placed inside what? A external magnetic field. That means in case of diamagnetic substances, the magnetic field inside the diamagnetic substance is always less than what? The magnetic field strength outside the diamagnetic substance. So that we can write the induced magnetic field or the magnetic field induction within the magnetic substance is always less than what? The external magnetizing field strength H. If here the B is within the induced magnetic field within the diamagnetic substance and H is the external magnetizing field strength, then B is always less than what? H in case of diamagnetic substance. Or from this we can write B by H is always less than 1. That means it is always less than 1. So B by H is what? Mu is less than 1. So here mu is less than 1, B by H is less than 1. So as mu is less than 1, we can write mu is negative and less than unit. Clear? And for all, but in case of paramagnetic substance, if we place a paramagnetic substance in an external magnetic field, then most of the field lines pass through what? Paramagnetic substance. Not all, but most of the field lines pass through paramagnetic substance. Okay, in case of paramagnetic substance, when you placed it in a external magnetic field or in magnetizing field H, then all the magnetic field lines may not pass through the magnetic substance, but most of the magnetic field lines must pass through the paramagnetic substance. So here in this case, the magnetic field induced within the paramagnetic substance is slightly greater than what? The external magnetic field strength. So here we can write B by H is greater than 1. That means mu is greater than 1. So the magnetic permeability of paramagnetic substance is greater than 1. And in case of diamagnetic substance, the magnetic permeability is always less than 1. Or here we can write the permeability of the substance is greater than that of free space. Or we can write the mu is greater than that of mu naught. And here we can write mu is less than mu naught. Clear? But in case of ferromagnetic substance, if we place a ferromagnetic substance in an external magnetic field or magnetizing field, then all the magnetic field lines must pass through what? the ferromagnetic substance. Okay, so here H is the external field strength and B is the magnetic field induced within the ferromagnetic substance. So here B is very large than H, or we can write B by H is very greater than 1. That means the permeability of the ferromagnetic substance is very greater than the permeability of free space or external surrounding of the ferromagnetic substance, or the magnetic field strength within the ferromagnetic substance is very large than the external magnetic field strength, as all the magnetic field lines pass through what? Ferromagnetic substance. Okay, so here we can write no field lines pass through diamagnetic substance. Here most of the field lines pass through paramagnetic substance. And in case of ferromagnetic substance, all the field lines pass through ferromagnetic substance. Okay, and what we can write for diamagnetic substance, the B is greater than H, or the permeability is so the B is less than H, or the permeability of the substance is less than 1, and for paramagnetic substance the permeability is greater than 1, and for ferromagnetic substance the permeability is very very larger than 1, or the permeability of the free space. Clear? Okay, so here for diamagnetic case B is less than H, so mu is less than 1. We can write mu is negative, mu is just less than unity, and here mu is greater than mu naught. We can write only, let's leave this point. B by H is greater than 1. That means mu is very very larger than 1, and here B by H is greater than 1. That means mu is greater than 1. So permeability is more than 1. Here the permeability is very large than 1. Here the permeability is less than unity or 1. Clear? So in case of diamagnetic substance B is less than H, that means no lines of field lines pass through diamagnetic substance, so the induced magnetic field is less than the external magnetic field strength, so B by H is less than 1, so mu is less than 1. Here almost all the magnetic field lines pass through, not all but almost all magnetic field lines pass through the paramagnetic substance, so B by H is greater than 1, so permeability is greater than 1. But in case of ferromagnetic substance, as all lines pass through the ferromagnetic substance, so B is very large than H, that means mu is very large than 1. So this is the relation between B and H, the induced field and the external field for diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substance, how the permeability of all these substances related with the values, or how they greater than or less than from unity, we already discussed. So let's now discuss some further points regarding diapara and ferromagnetic substance. As we already discussed, the diamagnetic substance get magnetized slightly in opposite direction of external magnetic field. So for this, the intensity of magnetization I is small and as it is magnetized opposite to the external magnetic field, so it is negative. Clear? For this diamagnetic substance, the intensity of magnetization I is small and negative, and for paramagnetic substance, as it is get magnetized along the direction of external magnetic field, but the intensity of magnetization is very small, so it is small. I is small and as along the direction positive. Okay, but for ferromagnetic substance that is strongly get magnetized along the direction of external magnetic field, so I is large and positive. Clear? You have to remember, for diamagnetic I is small and negative, for paramagnetic I is small and positive, and for ferromagnetic I is large and positive. Similarly, the susceptibility for diamagnetic substance is small and negative. For paramagnetic substance, the susceptibility is small and positive. And for ferromagnetic substance, the susceptibility is large and positive. Clear? You have to remember these values. For diamagnetic I is small negative, for paramagnetic I is small positive, and for ferromagnetic I is large and positive. Similarly, susceptibility is small and negative for diamagnetic, small and positive for paramagnetic, large and positive for ferromagnetic substance. Next, the diamagnetic substance doesn't obey Curie's law. Paramagnetic substance, they obey Curie's law. And by increasing temperature, they lose their magnetic properties. And in case of ferromagnetic substance, they also obey Curie's law, and by increasing temperature, above Curie's temperature, they behave like paramagnetic substance. Okay, so diamagnetic substance doesn't obey Curie's law, or they are independent of variation in temperature. They obey paramagnetic substance obey Curie's law, and by increasing the temperature they completely lost their magnetic properties. And ferromagnetic substance also obey Curie's law, but at a particular temperature, above a particular temperature, that is Curie's temperature, they behave like what? Paramagnetic substance. So these are basically some comparison between dia, para and ferromagnetic substance. So what are the examples for diamagnetic substance? This is gold, silver, diamond, etc. And for paramagnetic substance, aluminum, manganese, calcium, etc. And for ferromagnetic substance, the examples are iron, steel, cobalt, nickel, etc. So these are all about the magnetic substances, which are divided into three parts: diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic substances. What is Curie's law, and how the Curie's law is related with temperature for paramagnetic substance and for diamagnetic and for ferromagnetic substance, and how different terms are related or differentiate para, dia and ferromagnetic substances. Clear? So in next class we will discuss further about this magnetostatics. Okay, thank you.